Hi, I'm Erica.
And I'm Lynn, and today we're going to talk to you about this new quilt pattern called City Life.
That's right, and the title comes from the fabric that is used in it, and it's actually by Dear Stella. I think they've used a fat quarter bundle and done kind of a scrappy look on it. Well, you'll see us doing one in a little bit more constant fabrics, but you can still see great secondary patterns in this one, Lynn.
Right, and this pattern uses the 9-inch Go cube, and it's only 3 dies and also the companion set.
I love that.
Is fantastic because you can cut all your shapes out. You've got your signature block here,
right,
and then you've got a half square triangle there, and then you've got a quarter square triangle which is on the very edges of the block.
It's right here, and that kind of threw me off. So again, as I say, read your directions.
Right, and this block, because it's a combination of what we normally, it's a little bit more interesting than what we normally put together. It has an unusual finish size. It's something like 15 5/8.
That's right. That's
so,
right.
But isn't that wonderful that you can make these different blocks with your cube?
Okay, so we're going to cut the signature block now because it's actually used kind of differently for that border, and we're going to be able to cut 6 at a time.
Right, because we can cut 6 layers.
That's right, but your big block is going to use 12, so 2 passes and you've got that done for you.
And I also wanted to just make sure that I reiterate that we do have this on the lengthwise grain, and then we are fan folding this because the signature block is not directional. So I'm just making sure as I fan fold that I have my fabric just over those die blades.
And we've all done it where we missed the fold, so that's a really good reminder.
Right, you want to double check that, and then your mat, okay. We'll cut that out.
So then I'm going to go ahead and show you how we're putting this together. It just goes together a little differently here with our signature block for this border.
Okay, and we already have...
Now this is a great instance where I cheated. I almost started laying out some of my half squares. To make this go together a little bit easier, you can lay it out ahead of time and see that we're going to be sewing these 2 pieces together, then these 2, so that we've got a nice easy seam. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that. Lynn's going to talk about our corner pieces that we're putting together here too.
Okay, I love those tricks because it's, you know, when you first glance at this, it looks like, oh, I have a Y seam.
It does.
And but you
that
don't.
That was what I thought at first. There's exactly what I thought at first.
A tip to not have to worry about that. So what I'm going to do while Erica is sewing, I'm going to cut this quarter square that's right here that finishes off the block on the corners. And so that's the shape we have right here. And I am going to cut the 4 pieces that we need to finish off the block that we're working on. And again, I have my lengthwise grain and going in the right direction, and I'm just fan folding so that I'm covering up my shape.
Good reminders.
I just love this Go Big cutter. It's so fast and easy.
All right. Kind of had a little race there to see which one of us was done first, Lynn. I'm going to go ahead and press these out while you keep going so that these will be ready to sew together.
So this could be a new thing where we, you know, sew quilts together.
It could be.
They go together even faster.
We could make some record time, I'm thinking. Okay, so I've got these together, and then we're going to be able to put this now because we've sewn those together, and I did press to the dark side on those 2. That's going to actually help me when putting these together. I can get a lock on those seams, and by that I mean that we're going to be able to check myself. I'm going to be able to look and see that those are just side by side to get a perfect point in there. And if I was so inclined, I could put a pin there, but I'm feeling kind of wild, so I'm just going to go straight to the machine. And really with this, sticking a finger on top of there is going to work just great. And really, I think I would chain piece these together, Lynn.
Yeah, it's pretty, should go together really quickly. And your points almost match up exactly on that edge, so it really aligns where you can see it.
Very nicely, yeah. And I really like this treatment. It's something very different. Could give, like you said, a very different look to the border of something maybe that you're already working on. Or that you have in your head.
Or like maybe a graduation or something like that where you actually use the signature block for signatures. It's
Right.
kind of neat.
So there we've got that. You can see we've got that hourglass look right there with no Y seams and some perfect points in there. And then we would go ahead, sew these together like we have on these sides and give you almost that little diamond shape, I guess, like a real diamond, not a diamond. And then we'd be able to go ahead and put those corners on.
Right, so I'm going to just reach across so you can see this easier. You just sew that quarter square onto that edge once all those blocks are together.
Right, I think this would go together really quickly. You could even, if you put your mind to it, it'd be easily a weekend quilt.
Right, and the great thing about it is it's just repetitive blocks. So you're just putting together 12 of those blocks. Once you have one done, put together 11 more, and you've got your quilt top completely put together. How easy.
Yes.